This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium personal commentary. This Infinium personal commentary is entitled Even If. A note to all women who are now angry with men like me because we've gone MGTOW. I would like to give you two specific personal examples that even if I explain to you what happened, you still will not believe me. Example number one. Women who are angry at MGTOW men cite their unwillingness to do their duty by marrying women. Even if I told you of the many horror stories I experienced when I was seeking a mate, there would be no consideration on your part for what happened to me. And as I've cited repeatedly on this channel of a specific instance where I was engaged to a Christian woman who was a closet single mother and who had lied to me about it, and who had fabricated a story that the boy who would suddenly pop up when we were going out on dates was her cousin's son, and whose whole family was in on this fabrication, you still would not believe me. Even if I told you of a single mother who was aware of the situation and who was willing to come to my marriage ceremony to object because of what was happening to me, and after I had broken off the engagement, who had a frank, detailed A to Z discussion with me about what could have happened to me, and who in this discussion told me that my best man, who I thought was a close brother in the Lord, knew about the situation, and who told me point blank that all the women in the church were whores, and that it was best for a good man like me to stay single, you still would not believe me. Even if I told you of a high strangeness event which occurred with my 102-year-old grandmother on my dad's side of the family, 2 months after the conversation with the single mother, and who I was sitting alone with in a room in her house, and where it appeared that she was unaware of my presence because of her being in her own senile little world, and where my grandmother suddenly turns to me, says my name, looks me dead in the eye, and has a lucid, detailed conversation wherein she explains to me that it's best for men like me to remain single, you still will not believe me. Even if I told you that some years after the aforementioned events, there was the simple, despicable act of a Christian woman who refused to help me put on my coat on a cold, snowy day, and who had beforehand called me up on my job and demanded that I pick her up from work, and because of me being in simp mode, I risked my life and my vehicle to do so, and because of my eyes being fully open to the understanding that my life had value and that I was not a slave, you still will not believe me. Instead, you will say to me that everything was my fault, that I couldn't handle strong women, blah, blah, blah. Example number two. Women who are angry at MGTOW men because they refuse to mentor women anymore. Even if I told you that throughout the 80s and the 90s, I did mentor many women, but it was mostly to no avail and cost me greatly in many ways. And more importantly, that throughout the 90s, early 2000s, I was manager of a small 6-person IT shop which consisted of all women, and who I each mentored personally, and who I did everything and anything for them, and who I found out the hard way that even though 3 were loyal, that there were 3 disloyal women who either caused great problems for me or caused great day-to-day disruptions in the department. You still will not believe me. Even if I told you how extensively I took care of one of the 3 women who was disloyal to me, and who had a mental breakdown when she failed a software training course, and who I sat with in a rental car in the Midwest of this country for over 3 hours with her uncontrollably sobbing over her failure, and through my efforts, got her back on track mentally, And when the STHF happened, she basically kicked me to the curb. You still will not believe me. Even if I told you how another disloyal team member regularly caused disruptions in the department and who took advantage of my laid back management style by regularly violating department policies and who lied to me, or lied about me, I should say, to upper management, and who spread rumors about me throughout the workplace, and who, in the aftermath of the STHF, became bewildered because I told her that I never wanted to have any more contact with her, you still will not believe me. Instead, you would say to me that it's all my fault, that I have no right to say no to mentoring women, blah, blah, blah. Aside from the two aforementioned examples, even if I explain to you that because of my abilities to sense what women are doing, it is nearly impossible for me to have an intimate relationship with a woman. And even if I had a relationship with a woman, I would immediately know when and how she is scanning other men when in my company when we are out in public. And how I would know when she is shit testing me or considering ways to monkey branch on me because of my abilities to accurately read women. Instead, you would say to me that I was delusional and perhaps I should lay off the bath salts, blah, blah, blah. That being said, I will reiterate to you what I've stated about MGTOW men like me in the past. Leave me, as well as other men like me, alone. Stop trying to talk to us like a woman did to me the other day when I was in the post office, just minding my business. Stop following us around in grocery stores or other public places. As well, because you will not believe us, stop doing one-sided, hypocritical, epic fail, men need to suck up, men are trash analysis content when no man is present to voice our side of things because it is irrelevant. BS. Also, as well, stay out of our manospheres, as your presence and your opinions are not wanted or needed. This is because you will not believe us and have said of men that we are essentially worthless. So therefore, we men demand that you NYLB. Finally, the fact that you will not believe us has only caused a greater impact in terms of men red pilling and going MGTOW, which for men like me means progressing from the feminist, what I need to do mentality to what I really want to do, live freely as a MGTOW. Now I would like to say RIP Paul Proteus. Thank you, my brother, for being a forerunner in the philosophy and bringing light as well as understanding to the issues we men face on a daily basis. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium personal commentary. My MGTOW brothers, now more than ever, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.